Steven's
Why can I smell
apartment.
this nigga through
When
the screen?
confronted with the subject of this episode is
Ew,
25
how the fuck this nigga mustache go inside his nose like that?
and would type in several variations of the
what?
phrase "how to molest sleeping girl" to forensics.
I took her home and I enjoyed that. Bro, you think it's all from him just like beating his dick?
Telling me you looked at a pretty girl like that and you never once thought, ever, man, she looks good. You never thought that?
Yo, this nigga's tweak.
What do you mean you don't understand?
You got a
how
dick,
you see
son?
a girl walking down
What
the
you mean you
road?
don't understand? You like pussy, right? You like pussy, don't you?
Then you say, man,
Or are you a gay?
Hey yo, Dip got cute, Munch got cute.
Boom, boom. Let's get it.
When forensic health professionals evaluate stalking, 4 essential items are taken into consideration: the nature of the relationship between the stalker and the victim, the stalker's motivations, the psychological, psychopathological, and social realities of the stalker, and the psychological and social vulnerabilities of the victim. The subject of this episode is
Ew.
25-year-old Stephen McDaniel.
How the fuck this nigga mustache go inside his nose like that? I've always seen that shit and it's always like bewildering to me.
And to gain a deeper understanding
That
of
nigga
the
look like he needs sleep.
foregoing components, we have to extract certain elements through the knowledge of hindsight. The evolution of technology over the past 2 decades has made forensic investigations considerably more efficient.
Bro, a nigga, bro, forensics is so good. You could burn some shit and they'll still be able to get some evidence off of you, off of like burnt paper. It's like, nigga, what? I saw that shit in Money Heist. Crazy.
2 of the items on this list can now be examined through a single component, which would otherwise take forensics weeks or even months to conduct in a previous era. And that component is the internet, or more specifically, internet search history. The disclosure
Y'all
of
seen
web
that
browser
Dave
data.
Chappelle skit? I think it was Dave where he was talking about forensics and how a nigga could leave his semen on the crime scene. They finding that nigga, bro. That nigga could breathe on the crime scene. They finding that nigga, bro.
Is often a crucial piece of evidence for building a case, as it can unveil many aspects of a suspect's personality that would otherwise be kept hidden. And this is sometimes far more effective than anything else presented in court, including information extracted during a full confession. Without going into specific detail, a large majority of the subject's time was spent watching porn that surrounded the theme of violence and torture. He would also conduct back-to-back searches of how to commit sexual assault, and would type in several variations of the phrase "how to molest sleeping girl" to forensics.
I took her home and I enjoyed that.
This is an overt sign of desensitization to sexual activity. Excessive exposure to online pornography can have this effect over time. It can build up a
facts.
tolerance to the traditional idea of sex. Therefore, the subject may continue a more potent form of stimuli to get the same rush. For Stephen McDaniel, this began with watching abstract material on the internet.
Shit to watching like that rapey shit to that fucking child shit, bro. Like, bro, I don't even know how the hell you get so deep on the internet to find that.
Lauren Giddings, his next-door neighbor of 3 years. And this takes us to item 4 of the forensic checklist. With respect to social vulnerabilities, the victim essentially had none. Lauren was outgoing and extremely popular. She was a well-liked member of her community and had a strong social support system. With relation to psychological vulnerabilities, the term perceptual naivety would potentially come to light during a forensic investigation. Stephen had asked her out on a date within 6 months of their acquaintance, which was reportedly only
Nigga like me just saying no. It's crazy because it'll really be niggas who go like this to get with a bad bitch. Craziest shit ever.
the second time they had ever spoke. Lauren declined, but stated she would like to remain friends, which was only her being courteous and trying to soften the blow of rejection. She would later tell her actual friends that Stephen made her feel extremely uneasy and was uncomfortable to be around. It may have seemed like a non-essential observation at the time, but in hindsight, it appears that her instinctive senses were trying to tell her something. Lauren had told her friends multiple times that she felt someone had been inside her apartment, and she also started getting an eerie vibe when she came back alone, especially late at night. It was as though she could sense something wasn't right, and she even thought about moving multiple times, but unfortunately never went through with it. The reality was that Stephen McDaniel had stolen a master's key from a security guard and let himself into her apartment and looked around on several occasions. He also started filming her when she would leave and return to her apartment during all hours of the day. Had Lauren been in this situation before, or even knew anyone that had, she may have trusted her intuition and unknowingly saved herself from a tragic fate. But that's the key word: trust. She had no proof of the danger she was in, only conviction, which unfortunately wasn't strong enough when it was most needed.
Bruh. Like, this nigga is, this nigga is so down terrible.
Stephen McDaniel snuck into Lauren's apartment once more, only this time she was sleeping inside. As he crept into her bedroom, she awoke and immediately panicked once she saw the intruder. McDaniel then pounced on top of her and proceeded to strangle her for roughly 15 minutes. Lauren put up a courageous fight and clawed at her attacker's face and chest, but she was eventually overpowered and died of asphyxiation. After the murder, Stephen dismembered Lauren's body in the bathtub with a hacksaw. He cut his victim into 5 pieces, placed each piece in a trash bag, and then disposed of each of them in separate trash cans around campus. 3 days later, Lauren's concerned friends would arrive at her apartment and let themselves in with a spare key. McDaniel would notice from his window and invited himself inside as he offered to help. All of her belongings were still inside, including her cell phone, driver's license, and passport. A missing persons report was filed that night. A search party commenced the next morning, and police would discover the victim's torso at 9:40 a.m. It was placed in a trash can next to the apartment complex. The rest of the victim's remains were never recovered. The
Why that nigga try to play it off cool, like, yeah, let me help you find her, knowing damn well, bro.
Was then switched from a missing person to murder. Police canvassed the surrounding area and began conducting interviews with neighbors and classmates, one of whom was Stephen McDaniel. But he was first interviewed by the local news, and at the time was unaware that part of the victim's remains had been discovered.
We're just trying to find out where she is at this point. I mean, no one has seen her since Saturday. I mean, the last time anyone heard from her was an email that she sent out, and no one's heard from her since.
What kind of person was she? I mean, what did you...
Look at this nigga.
She's as nice as can be. I mean, very personable, very much a people person.
Do you know anybody any enemy?
There's something, like, bro, what? I don't even know what to say. Like, how can you do that and it's act this normal? Like, there's something different about this nigga. This nigga needs to be, like, studied, put under a fucking razor and microscope and study that nigga, bro.
Maybe she might have had somebody that might want to hurt her.
Study that nigga brain.
I mean, we just don't know where she is.
What about in the parking lot area? I know they've been doing a lot of, I think that's where they have recovered the body or whatever they recovered from there.
Body?
Had you seen anything there? Had you seen anything there?
Look at this nigga.
I mean, we don't know if this is the same person. You know what I mean? Like, they took out a body there earlier. We don't know if it's the same person or not. So that's how we're trying to ask people if they know who lived there. Are you okay, sir?
I think I need to sit down.
Okay.
Yeah, you think so? You think so? Where the fuck is this nigga going?
This is most likely a genuine reaction disguised as another. He is most likely feeling a sense of fear and shock over the fact a substantial piece of evidence has been discovered, yet he plays it off as a feeling of sorrow over the loss of his supposed friend.
I don't know anyone that would want to hurt her. She was as nice a person as there is.
There is.
Was she moving soon? Did you know anything about her?
Yeah. She was going to be moving out today. They wouldn't do this.
Shut up.
Maybe I could have helped. I mean,
Shut
they went in,
up.
we looked around the place. No sign of a struggle, no sign that anyone had broken in, just nothing.
He was interviewed by police at 11:50 a.m. and offered to help in any way he could, yet came across as fidgety and apprehensive the entire time. There were two highlighted moments of the interview. The first was when Stephen asserted that he was a virgin, saving himself for
What?
marriage. The second was when the detective discovered scratch marks on his face and stomach, which he asserted were done by himself in his sleep. He at that point
just
unknowingly
in your
became the
sleep?
prime suspect and was asked if police could search his apartment. Stephen reluctantly accepted and was then transported back to the complex with 4 other investigators. While searching his apartment, they discovered a collection of swords, guns, toilet rolls, stockpiled provisions as
So
if
he's
he
got
was
swords
expecting an
in the crib?
apocalyptic event.
And
Toilet rolls.
and
Stopped
bare-
searching his apartment. They discovered a collection of swords, guns,
Damn, that nigga was packing. Hold on.
investigators. While searching his apartment, they discovered a collection of swords, guns,
This nigga got the shit they be having in fucking Snowfall and COD.
toilet
And why this nigga just got countless... Bro, you think that's all from him just like beating his dick?
rolls, stockpiled provisions as if he was expecting an apocalyptic event, and a mask made out of women's underwear. The most
What?
significant discovery, however, was a pack of condoms.
Thought you were saving yourself for marriage, buddy.
Stephen was asked why he would have such an item in his possession if he was staying celibate before marriage, at which point he miraculously confessed to stealing them from another apartment. This gave the detectives probable cause for arrest, and Stephen was placed in handcuffs and brought back to the police station. His
nigga
interrogation
talk too
began
much.
just after 11 p.m.
I'm gonna put himself in his own situation.
All right.
All right, brother.
I gotta ask you a few more questions. You came down earlier tonight, me and you talked, all right. You don't have any weapons on you, do you? That's just you.
What accent is this? Did they say where this is at? They probably did and I wasn't paying attention. It's southern as fuck.
What's wrong?
What's wrong?
You know I'm Detective Patterson, right?
Yes.
Do you remember? Put your hands up here. You remember us talking earlier tonight? Right?
Right.
You remember me earlier in the day?
Yes.
When
You
came down
remember.
here and talked a little bit and then we left?
Yes.
Okay.
The monotone dialogue and lifeless demeanor you see here reportedly started on the drive back to the police station, and the suspect's conduct throughout the entire procedure is not only mystifying, but almost impressive. This is one of the most extraordinary
You
pieces
remember.
of interrogation footage to ever reach the public domain.
I need to know about this girl right here. You know her?
Yes.
Who is that?
Lauren Giddings.
Does she live next door to you?
Yes.
When's the last time you seen her?
2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay. Was you friends with Lauren?
Yes.
Look at me when you talk to me, son. Okay?
Damn.
The suspect has morphed
Bitchin' that
himself
nigga.
into this abnormal and extremely creepy character. Whether it's a strategy or some sort of mental breakdown is unclear. But what's incredible is that it somewhat dictates the pace of the interrogation. The detective has just closed the distance and commanded eye contact, both of which are recognized techniques to increase psychological pressure. Yet the absurdly haunting manner in which the suspect turns his head and fixes his gaze unnerves the detective to the point where he becomes the one to look away and reset his posture. This essentially never happens in interrogations, as it can give the suspect an incredible boost in confidence.
Look at me when you talk to me, son. Okay?
He turned his head slow
Was you
as
friends with
fuck.
her?
Yes.
Close friends?
We were good.
I mean, y'all were friends,
You were
right?
good
Both of y'all were law
friends.
students. You're studying to be an attorney, right?
Yes.
What kind of law do you want to go into? Criminal law?
Yes.
Civil? Is that what you want to do for a living?
Yes.
Okay.
The detective
Yes.
steps back from his initially
Yes,
aggressive
that's all I wanna
strategy.
say.
He asks trivial questions for 35 seconds before attempting to ramp up the pressure in a more subtle manner.
And you've lived next to Lauren for a long time?
Yes.
Do you
Yes.
know where she's at tonight?
Yes.
Hmm?
No.
Have you ever seen her with that dress on?
Yes.
No.
You have no idea where she's at?
No.
Yes. Look, just tell me what happened, brother.
Brother.
I don't know.
Well, where's she at? I'm asking you for your help. I'm a detective, and I'm asking you for your help. Can you help me?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You can't help a friend out?
I don't know what you need.
I need to know what
Bro,
I'm
why he talking
I
like that?
don't know.
Do you even care that no one can find her?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know, do you?
Yes.
Having a staring contest?
What's up with the pair of underwear that was in your apartment?
I
It was
don't
like
know.
a mask. It was cut out like a mask. You cut underwear out to look like a mask?
Look like mask?
Are you a knife collector or a knife person? Or
Yes.
No.
you just like knives?
I used to collect swords.
I mean, do you know your swords?
Yes.
I mean, to sell and trade swords?
No.
Is that how Lauren looked with the long hair the last time you seen her?
Bro, what's up
Yes.
with this guy, bro? That's what I'm talking. There's something up with this nigga's brain that needs to be studied. That's what I mean, bro.
That's how she looks.
Yes.
I mean, earlier today, me and you sit here and talk normal. What's going on with you now? Why are you acting like this? I need to know. Why all of a sudden you're acting like this?
I don't understand.
Okay. Earlier today,
In
we
his
sat here
head, like, he hasn't looked away not once.
and talked. But now you're acting like you don't know what's going on. I mean, did something happen or something to you?
No.
I mean, why are you shutting down? Why are you not talking to me?
I don't know.
You don't know? Are you scared?
No.
He hasn't moved. Like, his body hasn't moved.
I mean, you're not scared, are you?
No.
Stephen's demeanor doesn't waver for the first 20 minutes, so the
That's
detective
crazy.
eventually takes a more distinctly aggressive approach. He attacks the subject's character to see if it might coax him out of the act and into defending his dignity.
You got your ass on that fucking news and stood out there and gave a media report that her mother saw about her missing daughter. And you want me to sit there and tell him that you don't know?
Why do he look like a white Earl sweatshirt from this, like, low-ass quality?
Is that what you want me to tell him? Because you're all over the news. You sure stood out there and ran your mouth to the news media. But now you're going to get out here and you don't fucking know. You know.
You know.
You're just a sorry piece of shit
Damn.
that don't give a fuck.
Damn.
Right?
No.
Well, why'd you tell the media everything?
No.
Do you need to see what you told the media today? It was on the 11 o'clock news. Well, I'm asking you. Tell me. I want to know.
I don't know where she is.
That ain't what you told the media. You didn't stand in front of that camera and say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
You on that nigga ass.
I need you to tell me what you want me to tell her mother. And then I won't ask you another thing. I'm not going to tell her mother that you don't know, because her mother saw you on the news tonight. And she cried all the way down to Macon. Because you had the balls to get on the news and tell everybody everything. So this little act that you're doing right now ain't working with me.
This nigga be tripping.
Okay? So you can just snap out of it and tell me what the hell happened, so we can move on.
I don't know.
I don't know.
How many times you gonna say I don't know? How many times you gonna say it? If you did something, that you regret, you let me know.
I didn't.
Bro, the way this nigga talk, bro.
I don't know.
Whether it was planned or not, the second detective enters the room with a similar strategy of immediate aggression. Rapport development seems to have been collectively thrown by the wayside.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, bad?
Did you talk to him about his guns?
Yeah.
When was the last time you shot those guns?
I haven't.
You never shot a gun?
No.
Have you ever shot any gun in your whole life?
No.
Never.
No.
So you bought 3 guns that you've never shot.
Yes.
Why?
I have.
For what?
Bro,
For what? I'm asking
they
for
on this
what?
nigga ass.
Why do you want to have them? What makes? Did they give you? I mean, tell me why it's important to you to have 3 guns.
3 big ass straps too, boy.
That's an easy question. Come on, talk to me, buddy. Me and you talked all day today. We ain't had a problem communicating. Why is it important for you to have 3 guns? Do you not know?
I don't know.
You say you don't know where Lauren is, right?
Right.
You told me earlier you and Lauren were friends, right?
Yes.
How would you describe y'all's relationship?
She was my friend.
She was your friend. What did you ever do things for her? Did she ever do things for you? What did she ever do for you?
Fuck, this nigga talking about sex?
We talked.
We talked. What y'all talk about?
News.
The news. Okay. How many times have you been in her apartment with her hanging out?
Multiple
I
times.
don't know.
I've been in there when she wasn't there.
You don't know? If you had to guess, what was your, I mean, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, what?
Maybe 2.
Maybe 2?
Yeah, that's
See, if
it.
I had only been somewhere twice,
I would know.
I could remember that.
Why
If
am
I
I
had
talking?
been
Why
there
am I talking like him?
over 50
When I
times,
say no
and you
like
asked me
that.
how many times I've been like, I don't know, I lied. But the fact that you've only been there twice, when I say how many times you've been there, you say you don't know, that's just odd to me. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
That does make sense. So what I'm saying right now makes sense.
No.
Lauren's missing. This pretty little girl right here, your neighbor, she's missing.
Much like Detective 1, Detective 2 now valiantly moves in for the psychological charge. He closes the distance and locks eye contact. His physical demeanor, alongside a prolonged gaze, will hopefully crack the suspect's fortified barrier. Once broken, the momentum will commence and the suspect will be more likely to divulge incriminating information. All the detective has to do is maintain eye contact for longer than his adversary. It's a psychological battle of attrition between 2 opposing forces, and these moments can sometimes last for minutes on end.
I know.
Me and you both know it's no different than when you was a little kid, right? And you reached in that cookie jar and you got caught after your mama told you not to get that cookie. And she was, did you get a cookie?
You get a cookie?
No. And whenever you tell a lie, you feel bad about it right then. One, with every lie, there's a chance you're going to get caught.
Okay.
And that weighs on you. Because you know you did something bad. Am I right?
I didn't do it.
You didn't take the
I
cookie?
didn't do it.
No.
Sound like the nigga off
Smell
Polar
like you've been
Express.
cleaning up.
Didn't do it. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Like you've been using cleaner to clean up. I know what that smells like. My wife smells like that all the time when she cleans the house. You've been using some kind of cleaner to clean up your apartment, hadn't you?
No.
Steven, you telling me you live it like a maid? How does your apartment get cleaned?
I cleaned it.
When was the last
No,
time you
fuck you
cleaned it,
don't.
Steven?
Not based off them pictures.
I don't remember.
Was it this week?
No.
But
You mean
that
you got a
panty
whole week without
mask.
cleaning?
Yes.
Why?
Why?
That's horrible, Steven. I don't know how else to say it, Stephen. Let me tell you what I think. I think that she was a friend of yours. Look at her right here. I think that she was a friend of yours. And I think something happened, Stephen. You used to watch her come in and out of her apartment, didn't you?
Bro, the way this nigga has only been moving his head side to side is crazy.
Well, how y'all doing?
We're just talking. See that pretty
Like,
girl
bro,
right
look at
there?
that time lapse. It's just his head.
See that pretty girl right there?
Bro, that is
You
crazy.
telling me you looked at a pretty girl like that and you never once thought, ever, man, she looks good.
No.
You never thought that?
Yo, this
I
nigga's
don't understand.
tweak.
What do you mean you don't understand?
You got a
know when
dick,
you see me,
son?
see a girl walking down
What
the
you mean you
road,
don't understand? You like pussy, right? You like pussy, don't you?
then you say,
Or
man,
are you a gay?
that girl looks good. You ever see a good looking girl where you think to yourself, man, that girl looks good?
Yes.
You never thought that about her?
No.
Yes.
So you mean to tell me you look at porn on the internet and get off to that, but you never looked at her and said, man, I wonder what it'd be like to have sex with her?
Yes.
You have?
No.
Steven, this is hard, buddy. I know this is hard. And I can tell it's something you want to let it go. This is hard.
This nigga probably thinking, why is this nigga touching me right now?
Tell it's something you want to let it go. There's blood in your apartment, Steven. You didn't get it all up.
This is the widely recognized futility technique, which is used to make the subject believe it is useless to resist due to the overwhelming evidence against them. It's most effective when the interrogator can play on doubts that already exist in the subject's mind. The only problem here is that Stephen didn't dismember Lauren inside his apartment. It all happened in Lauren's apartment, so the detective's bluff is already called at this point.
Damn.
It didn't all come off. You scrubbed and you wiped. But we can tell that. Don't you watch CSI? Yeah, we know it.
You know from watching CSI, it's crazy.
Steven, why is there blood in your bathroom?
There's not.
The detective now completely shifts his strategy from confrontational and aggressive to sympathetic and understanding. He attempts to create a connection and then afford Stephen a more socially acceptable reason for the crime. This is extremely difficult to pull off after a direct confrontation, as there is no established rapport nor trust. The usual routine is the exact opposite. You would first build rapport and then get aggressive once a connection has been attained.
I wanted to give you an opportunity to tell it. I wanted to be here with you to go through that process because I know you're not a monster, man. I
Cap.
know you're not a bad guy.
That's just cap.
You're just a hard-working student trying to pass a bar exam, ain't you? You ain't got a lot of support from your family, do you?
Yes.
You do?
The strategy fails at the first hurdle. Stephen immediately shuts down the afforded sympathy and reasoning behind the alleged crime, which was the concept of unsupportive parents. But the detective now attempts to roll with it.
A lot of people can't say that. And the fact that you do have support from your family should make things easier. Because your family wants to feel like they've raised somebody that tells the truth and is honest, right?
Yes.
Did you hurt that girl, Stephen?
No.
No.
Have you ever hurt anyone, Stephen?
No.
No.
You've never hurt anyone.
No.
I've hurt people, Stephen.
Damn.
I've made mistakes in my life. It's not even normal to say you've never hurt anybody. Sometimes people get mad and they say things they don't mean to say. It hurts. You never kicked a dog or a cat?
The lead detective
Motherfucker,
then
why the
asks
fuck would I do that?
non-confrontational questions for almost 30 minutes, which is most likely to see if it will change the suspect's demeanor and the manner in which he responds. But it doesn't. Stephen maintains the same lifeless disposition which he has now kept up for almost 90 minutes.
God.
You know what's crazy?
Oh, okay. Now he moving.
Has
Hold
now
on.
kept up for almost
Oh, he
90
eating.
minutes.
You know what's crazy? I was talking to people that he
Got that nigga some Mickey D's, huh?
works with,
If he was black though.
and they talk about how he's always expresses himself.
But he don't know.
He's very talkative. Stephen, they say you're so talkative, buddy, that you always so friendly. You stop in and say hello, and you talk. Why is it that you're acting so short with us tonight? If you have all this character and personality about you, why is it that
Bro, he's a
everything that we
tweet.
get from you is yes, no, or I don't know?
I don't know. Ossifer?
Why are you acting
I
like
don't know, Ossifer.
Like I said, Mr. Ossifer, I don't know what in the hell you're talking about.
You see how I'm able to talk in complete sentences? Like we're having a conversation, but the only thing you're bringing to the table is a yes, no, or I don't know. Stephen, did you hurt that girl?
No.
Would you tell me if you did?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you lied to me at all in this interview?
No.
Bro,
Yes, you have,
Steven,
Steven.
bro.
When was the last time you did laundry?
A few weeks ago.
You ain't washed clothes in a few weeks?
A few weeks is kind of crazy.
Why?
I have a lot of clothes.
No, you don't. That's another lie. You don't have a lot of clothes.
Yes,
See, you ain't
I
got
do.
no drip.
No. You got enough underwear to last you 3 weeks?
Shit, I don't.
Yes.
Do you wear the same pair of underwear more than one day?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, but that's nasty.
Why?
Because it's still clean enough to wear.
This nigga don't be doing shit. This nigga
Where's
just
that
sitting on
little
his ass
girl,
all day.
Steven?
I don't
But that's just
know.
cap.
Steven, you know. You
This
gonna
nigga be
look
going
at
through
this
whole
right here,
days
this
of
little
work
girl
and
right
walking
here,
around getting sweat and that shit just to
and
put
you
it
gonna
back
say
on.
you don't know? I know you know.
Look at this nigga.
I don't know.
Yes, you know. What are you gonna say tomorrow when I say we got your hair? What are you gonna say to me then?
Damn, that's some hair at the crime scene. It's
Because you
crazy.
know, like I go like that. Look at my hair. That's how easy it falls out. Look at all that on your head.
Oh,
You don't think nothing fell out? It did.
As we know, Stephen went inside Lauren's apartment with her friends 3 days after she was already deceased. This
Damn.
would give reason for his DNA being found at the scene, and would essentially nullify its use as damnatory
That's
evidence.
true.
Stephen, being a law student, would be well aware of this.
Damn, this
We
nigga
just
Steven
wanted
is
to give you an
crazy.
opportunity to tell it. So you didn't look like a monster at the end. Because you know what? I don't believe that you're a monster, Steven. I believe that you're a good guy. You've been picked on. Girls didn't show you the respect that you deserved. You did something stupid. And I believe you feel bad about it. And that's why you're all freaked out right now. But I'm giving you the opportunity to get right. I'm giving you an opportunity
not
to
freaked
show
out
everybody
at
you're
all.
not a monster. That you feel bad about what happened. Your hair is
Not
there,
one bit.
man. Your hair is there. That's right, buddy.
That's
See
right,
that?
buddy. That's my hair.
evidently seemed to work, as the interrogators got nothing. The suspect's behavior was so abnormal, they were essentially at a loss with what to do, or where to even start with a specific plan of attack.
Yeah, bro.
The evidence,
He's gotta lock that
however,
nigga up.
was irrefutable. Hundreds of pictures of Lauren were discovered on Stephen's flash drive, along with multiple video recordings of inside
Just
her
gotta lock that
apartment.
nigga up,
A hacksaw was found in a supply closet of the apartment complex, and it was marked red with what was later identified as Lauren's blood through DNA testing. The packaging for the exact same hacksaw was found in Stephen's
can I smell
apartment.
this nigga through
When
the screen?
confronted with the evidence, he took a plea deal to avoid the death penalty and was rendered a life sentence without the possibility of parole. He is currently being held at the high-security Hancock State Prison in Sparta, Georgia.
Look the judge in the eye and lie my hand on the Bible. Hey, yo, Dip got killed, Munch got killed.